Ladies and gentlemen, podcasting since 2005. You're listening to Gamertag Radio with your hosts, podcaster Hall of Famer Danny Pena, the always opinionated Parris Lilly, and from outside of the norm, Peter Toledo. This is Gamertag Radio.
All right, welcome to Gamertag Radio episode 1101. This is your host, Danny, and this week we recorded an emergency podcast episode a couple of days ago. It was me and also Parris, and we talked about the situation that happened with Google Stadia, about shutting down their first-party studios, and we had like a great conversation why this didn't work. And again, we've been talking about this now for over a year. And we had a great conversation about that. So we're going to play that in a few minutes. But first, head over to gamertagradio.com. Listen to our past episodes. You also can find us on any podcast app. All you have to do is just go out there, search. When you find us, make sure to subscribe, post a review, and spread the word about GTR. All right, if also you would like to be part of our fan mail segment or episode, here's how you could contact us.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
All right, so let's go straight to the podcast, and we'll be right back after this.
You're listening to Gamertag Radio.
What's up, Parris?
What is up?
What is up? Once again, emergency podcast episode. Cheers. Because I was not expecting this at all. My God. What's going on, dude?
What a freaking... Wait, can I... You can beep this out. What a show. This is so ridiculous, dude.
1 second here. Because, man, this is insane. So, I was just editing the podcast. It was already out now, episode 1100. Check it out. It's pretty cool. Great conversation about the medium, blooper interview. And I'm uploading the audio, and I'm like, oh, man, why Stadia is trending on Twitter, right? So, I go on, and I see what happened. So the studio that they had, the first party studio, got shut down. Jade and everybody was that's part of that team out. They're gone. 150 people. Ladies and gentlemen, Phil Harrison strikes again, yo. I said it on Twitter many times. Parris, you said it many times about Google Stadia like over a year ago now. And look.
My spidey sense is undefeated. That's all I got to say.
My God.
I keep telling you, when my spidey sense is like, something about this ain't right, I'm literally undefeated when it comes to that. Dude, this never looked like it was going to be a success. Now, look, of course, the initial debut and everything they were promised did. But when we got closer to launch and we saw how the features were missing, and more importantly, we saw the business model that they were doing for Google Stadia, I'm like, this is not sustainable. They can't do this. This will not work. I am not going to give you $60 of my money for a cloud-only streaming service. I'm just not going to do that. Now, if they would have supplemented it, that there was some way to play these games offline, like I said, if they had partnered with Steam or something like that, that made more sense to me. But the model they had was not going to work. What they should have done was some type of subscription model where I'm never feeling like I'm truly owning the games, right? Where it's something like Spotify or Netflix, obviously, where I'm basically renting my time to play on that service. The Stadia thing was never going to work. This is 100% on leadership. The community, like the audience they were trying to get, told them what they wanted from this type of service, and they didn't listen. They were trying to compete with Xbox or PlayStation or Nintendo. That was simply not going to work. It just was not going to work. The fact that now they're not even doing exclusive titles, why in the hell would I ever buy a third-party game on Stadia? Why? Buy it on Steam, you can play it on GeForce Now. Buy it on Xbox, you can play it on Project X Cloud. Use Luna, their subscription service, you can play it there. There is no reason to ever go to Stadia anymore. What's the point? There's no point. They need to completely change this business model if they think this thing is going to survive. And going by Google's track record, which everybody warned about this from the get-go, Google's not going to sustain it. Dude, it didn't even last 2 years. What is it, 18 months? If that, I guess, not even, right? What, I guess, yeah. Dude, it was about 14 months or so, Stadia, and already the model that they were trying to push is just simply not going to work. It's not. And we told you it wasn't going to work. From the get-go, we said this was not going to work. But they didn't listen. It's poor leadership. Where did they ever have the true outreach to the community? Sorry, posting on Reddit or on your blog is not good enough. You know, they never engaged enough with the community. You never showed us any game that truly took advantage of the quote unquote fast loading of the cloud and all this other stuff. We never saw it. We never really saw any of these features of the YouTube integrations and all that stuff. The co-op playing, like I could be on YouTube streaming and pull someone in from the audience. Maybe they were starting to get there, but they never quite got there. And at this point, this service is DOA. In my opinion. Look, I hate to say I told you so, but I freaking told you so. And I hate saying that, but it's the truth. Because look, I'm gonna keep it real again. Beep it, Danny. I took so much shit when I talked about this in the first 6 months of Stadia. Oh, everybody want to be mad at Parris. Oh, you're being a hater. You know, people making freaking YouTube videos saying how much I hate the service. It was never about hating the service. It's about hating the not even hate, but being disappointed in the leadership, in the mismanagement of what they did with Stadia. That's what I'm upset about. And this is absolutely a told you so. The fact that now they're not even going to make exclusive titles for this thing. What's the point? What's the point? Because I'll say again, NVIDIA GeForce Now, way better service, way better model. It's games that I own. They even have a free tier that you can use. But if I want to pay for a more experience in there, I can. That makes more sense to me because it's the games that I already own. I can already play them offline. Same with Xbox. Game Pass Ultimate. This is a subscription service that I was already subscribed to. And the fact that I can play these games on cloud streaming is just a nice supplement to it. You look at the subscription model that Luna is going to do. That makes more sense to me. What Stadia is doing never made sense to me. And ultimately, this is why the Stadia service is going to fail. I hate to say it, but it's the truth.
They rushed it. They rushed it last year. Remember, there was a bunch of features not available at launch. I'm like, okay, so why are you launching this? I personally think they were trying to do this as like being the first before Xbox. But Xbox, I hear myself, Parris, for some reason. Yeah, I think your headset is too loud. But anyways, anyways, but I feel like Xbox did it the right way, right? They had it as a beta for free. Tons of games. And I remember the day that Stadia launched, the same day, or they had like a big announcement, Xbox added even more games for free as a beta service. But Stadia released it right away and like, okay, here, buy your games. And yeah, you get like, Destiny for free or something like that, right? Destiny 2. And we played it for like a little bit. Like the service is cool and all, right? But I feel like the features that we're promoting, they even had like a YouTuber on stage promoting like, hey, you're streaming the game through YouTube. You click here and you could play with your the content creator could play with your viewers, or you could just switch within seconds. You could switch the game. That feature wasn't even available there at launch. You know, so and another thing too. Look, and I mentioned this a couple of times, Parris. Phil Harrison, by far, is the Green Reaper of gaming.
I know we joke about that, but I'm not even putting this on Phil Harrison. This is leadership even beyond, Phil Harrison. This goes into the executive corporate level of course, Google. Because of course you brought in Phil Harrison to run the game division and all that, but I guarantee you Phil Harrison's hands were tied on certain things because like I said, it is the business model that ultimately sunk Stadia. Like the tech is fine. There's nothing wrong with the tech. Mm-hmm. Of course, the tech is great. It's the business model. Who in their right mind is spending $60 a pop to play games on Stadia. And then if the service goes away, which, hey, looking like it's going to go away, here sooner rather than later, all your games are gone. Where are you going to play them? Now what?
Yeah, so what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
I'm not taking that risk. Yeah.
All the people that bought Cyberpunk, that was like the headline when it came out. Cyberpunk is one of the best versions on Stadia. So if you paid $59.99 and this service goes away, what's going to happen? You're going to lose the game? Are you going to get the game? Are they going to be they're going to return the money back to all those people that purchased it? Like, it's like, I don't know, man. And look, like you said, Google is known for shutting down stuff that doesn't work within months.
Yeah.
They've done this plenty of times in the past.
Yeah, exactly. And that's I'm looking at something Jason Schreier said.
What are you saying now?
Oh yeah, he's just talking about what you said about them hiring 150 people, and now that's all gone.
That's the part that sucks the most. Is those talented devs that were part of the studio, and also Jade, because Jade, she's been in the industry for a very long time. She was involved with she was the one that launched and worked on Assassin's Creed, the first Assassin's Creed back in the days, man. She used to be part of Ubisoft, and she's really cool. We met her a couple of times in the past, and I was excited seeing her that she was in charge. I'm like, all right, she knows her stuff, right? But I bet, like you said, it was not even under her control. All this stuff, all the decisions and everything, man. It just sucks that 150 people are going to lose their job because of stupid decision that they made Google with there. It sucks.
It sucks. It sucks. And I get wanting to take the risk. It's new technology. Google, big corporation. You think, they're going to back it. Of course, you're going to go in. So yeah, absolutely. I feel for those people that need to go find work. Hopefully Google is taking care of them so that, they, at least in the short term, are financially stable, because that's the least they can do with this. It's a freaking shame, man. And again, I love the technology behind cloud gaming. Hell, I just played Donut County on Project X Cloud over the weekend because the tech works. I played Cyberpunk on GeForce Now, things like that. The tech works. It's not about the technology of Stadia and cloud gaming. I believe in it. I do think there is a future of it. That future's just not now. So you can't try to sell me on a service that this is the only way I can interface with my games, and then basically say I have to pay full price for them in that only way, when the infrastructure and the technology just simply is not mature enough yet. 5G is still being rolled out, as far as playing mobile, obviously when COVID is over and more people are out and about, you know what I mean? It's just not there yet. It's a great supplement. I've been saying this since the get-go. It's a great supplement, but it is not the primary way you should be trying to play your games right now. It just simply is not. So Stadia is going to go away. It is. We will probably not be talking about Stadia next February 1st, because it probably won't exist anymore. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong, because I don't see it. If they're going to a third-party only service and you're expecting me to spend $60, again, let's take an example. Far Cry 6. Which is a game that's going to be coming out soon, or even Outriders, whatever. Are you really going to go spend $60 and play that on Stadia? Really? Of course you're not. Destiny 2, which is something you can get for free on there right now. Do you know the joke in the Destiny community is if you want to go flawless in trials, you hop on Stadia to do it because no one's there.
Oh my God. I was going to bring that up right now.
That's just real talk. That's just real talk.
That's real
you want to
talk.
go flawless playing trials, you go to Stadia because the population is super low and the skill set there is even lower. So you hop in there, blow through the people that are there, and you go flawless. It's a joke. It's a joke at this point to be on Stadia. And I don't say that to mock the people that do love it. If you love Stadia, God bless you. You know what I'm saying? God bless you. Love Stadia. Nothing against it. It's your money. I just know I'm not going to spend my money there. And I've said that from the get-go. Unless they do a drastic turn with this business model, it will not exist 365 days from now.
Now, let me fix my camera. There you go. I'm going to take it back. 2 years ago, I remember there was an announcement. Hey, we have this streaming service beta from Google. Want to check it out? I can't remember the project name. So I got invited to be part of it. And I remember I even recorded an episode saying how dope it was. Like I was not a fan of like streaming games back in the days, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cloud service, all that. And I played Assassin's Creed Origins. I think was it Origins or Lost? I can't remember. I think it was Odyssey. It was excuse me. It was Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I think it was. So I played it. I praised it, and I even contacted Google. Like, hey, I would love for you guys to go to our podcast or go to other shows and talk about the service, because I think they needed to do that. Communicate with the consumers, content creators, all that stuff, right? Crickets. The service launch. Crickets again. I think like there was no communication between the people that were working on that project and the community. There was no contact. It was all, like you were saying, Reddit, Twitter. Then maybe hire a couple mainstream YouTubers, and that's about it. And I feel like they messed up. They had an opportunity to hype the community up about the product and everything. They didn't, and then launching it without multiple features, which they added a couple after launch. It felt like we want to be the first. We want to be. We want to launch this first in Xbox and other companies, other companies are trying to do this. So they missed it. They missed the mark, man.
Yeah, I mean, think about it this way: they rushed so quickly to the market. 2 of the other 3 of your competitors are still in beta. They're not even saying we're in production yet. The only one that is saying we're a 1.0 product is GeForce Now. Project X Cloud is still a beta, technically. Luna is still in, limited beta. They're not even out yet, but you rushed out almost 18 months ago to say, hey, we're number 1, we're first, for no reason at all. You could have stayed in beta, and you would have had so much more goodwill towards what you were trying to accomplish. And then by the time that you are ready to, like, honestly, Stadia's probably wouldn't have been ready for prime time until about 2022. And then you could have come out in 2022, feature ready. You've been adding people in beta, and people that know they're in a beta are going to be a lot more forgiving of the service and the product because of that, right? Mm-hmm. But instead, you came out with a poor business model, lacking a ton of features that you promised. We didn't say we wanted 4K HDR and 60 frames per second at launch. You said we were going to get that. So that's on you. And they failed to deliver. So, like I said, this won't exist a year from now. And I'm a big advocate just in my old age. I really always look at leadership and management. This is not about the people that are on the ground floor, making the magic happen. This is about the people, that are making all the business decisions. And they screwed up. They did. And we told you this from the get-go. This will not work. But no one wanted to listen that was in a position of leadership to actually invoke change. They could have pivoted a year ago. You know what? I know we launched with this business model. We don't think this is going to work. We're going to go to a subscription model. We partnered with EA, Ubisoft, or whoever, and we're going to offer you this smorgasbord of games at $15 a month or whatever it could have been, right? They should have tried to do something like that. Like, again, Game Pass obviously is the template for this. If they could have had some kind of Game Pass service for $15 a month, you offered me 75 or 100 games to play, ranging from AAA all the way down to indie. They didn't even have to be brand new day and date games. They could have been older games. I would have been a lot more forgiving of that, personally. Mm-hmm. But you're going to try and charge me $60 for Cyberpunk, $60 for Far Cry and Assassin's Creed and all the Watch Dogs and all the rest of them. Why in the hell would I ever play Watch Dogs Legion on Stadia? Makes no sense. I'm not doing that. I'd rather play it on my PC, which then means I could also play it on GeForce Now if I wanted to for free, or I'd get it on Xbox, or I'd get it on PlayStation. There's no way I would get it on Stadia. Just it never made sense. Your competition simply ate your lunch when it came to all that. They were offering way more incentives to go to their service than you did to yours. And that's on you. You're freaking Google. You're $1 trillion company. You should have figured it out, period. It's harsh, but it's the truth, and here we are.
Now, if they do change it to a subscription service, it could work. But here's the thing. Now with this news that They shut down the studio. They're not going to have exclusives at all from when it comes to the first party. Maybe third party, who knows? That's like a different story. But first party is completely gone. Now
which kills the service.
Now the confidence from the consumers. Why are they going to pay $70 or $60 to buy a game through that? I'd rather just go to PlayStation, Xbox, or even the new Luna subscription service, right? Or like you're saying, GeForce now. I could do that. But why would I go to Stadia now? And like you said the other day, I think you were mentioning this, Danny. The other day I went to Destiny 2 on Stadia just to see if the community, if there's more people now playing. Paris, it was a ghost town. Nobody was there. Nobody.
Yeah, nobody's there.
So if the community is not there, and there is no crossplay, right, for certain games, right?
No.
Why would you go there? It doesn't make no sense. I'm gonna go where my friends are at. That I'm gonna keep it around. I don't care if it's power. I'm more of like, where is my community at? I'm gonna go there. I'm not gonna go to a place where, hey, it's Google, it's cool. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. They did a poor job, man, marketing this. It was very confusing when it came out. It was just, I don't know, man. It had so much potential, and they fucked it up. 100%.
100% they did. Again, it's on them. It's not like, oh man, they had this cool thing, and why didn't it work? I don't understand why it didn't work. We've been telling you since it came out why it wasn't going to work, and this is exactly why it's not going to work. Mm-hmm. So the fact that you don't even have the confidence to release exclusive titles in studio, your own in studio development titles. What does that say? I have zero confidence in this service. And I'm being harsh because I think it needs to be harsh, because these companies need to stop pulling this shit. We told you to not do this. Your own community, the people you wanted to spend their hard-earned money, told you not to do this, but you did it anyways. And here we are. It's on leadership.
Now, I want to mention this because I heard this behind the scenes. There was also people from the inside of the company that were like, oh my God, this is not a good time to release it like this. They were even against it, to releasing the product. And leadership, like you were saying, Parris, nope, they didn't want to hear it. We're going to release it now. And what happened, those same people that were against it, they were like, I told you so. They can't say that publicly. But they were right too.
Of course again.
So there's people from the inside, they were like, they love, because you know how it is, Parris, when a team work on something for a very long time, they're excited about it. They're excited to share this to the community, to the consumers. They're excited. But if something is not working from the inside, they will give their feedback. But sometimes leadership, they don't want to hear that crap. They're like, nope, we're going to release this, and that's that. But then when they see the results, leadership blames the smaller team,
right?
Which is messed up too. Right. We've seen that many times.
Yeah. There's some bean counter crunching numbers and saying this is what'll be profitable. This isn't, or we couldn't make this deal for subscription service and all that. Then why did you put it out? Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? No one was forcing you to rush this out. Nobody. There is nobody ever in 2019 that was saying, you know what we need? We need Google Stadia. Nobody was saying that. No one asked you to announce it when you did, but you put it out anyways. So that's on you. I remember being at Gamescom 2019. I remember they had the big booth. Remember, I told you. Yeah. Remember, I had been skeptical of this from the get. Mm-hmm. And I told you, I went to the booth. I got the appointment. I played Doom Eternal on Stadia. And what did I say?
You were like, hey, it's amazing. Amazing.
Hey, yo, this works. This is great. Hey, maybe I'm wrong. Then we found out what the business model was. And I was like, this ain't going to work. No way.
I forgot about that.
There's no freaking way.
Yes.
Yeah. I was like, this is not going to work.
But true story, do you know that was the first time the consumers got hands-on?
Yeah.
That was the first time. Was at Gamescom. It was not at E3. Why was not at E3? Why was not at PAX? Like, why Gamescom? Like, it made...
But hey, new tech, it maybe wasn't ready for E3, all that. But look, it was at a public event that anybody, if they wanted to stand in line, could go play it if they wanted to. And it did work. So like I said, I take nothing away from the tech. I take away from the poor business model that they had. And that's on leadership. You should have pivoted at a certain point when you realized it wasn't going to work. But instead, now You've had 150 people. You had someone like Jade Raymond, have faith in what you sold them to come in and try and make games, make exclusive games for it. And then, because again, it's a business, you realize, well, it's not going to work. Well, you're all fired. You're out. And the service is going to fall right behind it. Here's what I think, Danny.
Yeah.
I think Stadia, believe it or not, will live on. But what I think is you're going to see somebody like PlayStation as an example. Not saying they will, because maybe they'll do something else. But let's just say PlayStation decides to, quote unquote, buy the tech. And basically Google now becomes, that serve like a service, like, I don't know, like, again, like AWS or Azure or whatever, right? And that's just where other companies are using their technology for cloud streaming. I think that's ultimately what happens to the technology for Stadia. I don't see Stadia, the platform, existing a year from now, but the technology will live on. And obviously Google, they have the data centers, and they obviously already have the infrastructure in place to support it. And maybe that's where Stadia, actually the technology, becomes profitable, because a company like PlayStation, I'm just randomly pulling companies, PlayStation or EA or 2K or someone like that, decides to invest in using it for their own cloud streaming service.
I don't see it with PlayStation. I might see it with like Nintendo, because the reason why PlayStation has that partnership now with Microsoft, so they just announced it like a year ago. So I feel like that's like a little bit too soon. But I see a company like Nintendo, like they need something like that for their games, for their service. I think that will be great for them to do that. Like I'll tell you this, Parris, if let's say a year from now, there's a partnership between Nintendo and Google, that'll be huge. I think that will be huge. Something like that will get the consumers excited. PlayStation, I have to disagree, because it's a little bit too soon. Because it was just a couple months ago, it was just announced a partnership with Sony and Microsoft. I just don't see it.
Yeah. Again, I'm just pulling the name. I'm not saying they are, just as an example. But yeah, you're right. They've already partnered with Azure, to do their tech. Clearly, Amazon's doing their own thing with AWS. But someone's going to use this technology. I don't think it just goes away. But the actual platform, the quote unquote competitor to Xbox and PlayStation, that is Stadia, that goes away. I don't see it.
The reason why I mentioned Nintendo is because for years there has been a relationship between Nintendo and Google. I remember April Fool's Day years ago, they had Pokemon available, Google Maps, and people were actually playing. They'll get like awards and all this cool stuff. So I could see it. And there was rumors too that they were working together for like Android stuff. So that's why I mentioned Nintendo. I can see that, but they need to. Google needs to do something drastic to get the consumers excited again. Because right now the confidence level is like super low. People are not going to invest on buying or even subscribing to the service. Honestly, Parris, like there is no exclusive games on GeForce Now, unless I'm wrong. You tell me.
No, but that's the whole. But that's the whole point.
Yeah.
They're not trying to sell you on, hey, we're this platform. They're just saying, hey, we're providing a service that we're partnering with Steam. We're partnering with Uplay. We're partnering with Epic. We're partnering with GOG. The games you already own, you can play on our service. We have a free tier you can do for a limited time, or you can buy our Founders Pack, which gives you unlimited time to play on the service. That's fair to me. I see nothing wrong with that. I like that. That's why I talk about GeForce Now all the time. Then you look at Project xCloud. Hell, they're just building it into their premium tier for Game Pass. It's a no-brainer. They're not forcing you to use it. Use it if you want to use it.
Yeah.
No-brainer.
Now with Luna, because I don't know much about Luna. Why do you think that has potential to be big?
Because they're going to do a subscription model. Clearly, Amazon saw what Google did and said, we're not doing that. Subscription model.
You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yep.
But I wonder all those people that were saying, Parris, oh, you're hating it. Like, I wonder where they're at right now with this news now. Like, crickets.
Dude.
We've been saying it for a long time, dude.
We've been saying this forever, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just unfortunate that this day has come, but we knew this day was coming. I mean, that's the unfortunate part about it. So it is what it is.
And I want people to think, we're not laughing like, oh, it's good. They get shut down. Because look, I even mentioned here, 150 people lost their job. That's not
good.
That's not good.
Nobody, trust me, no one's celebrating that
at all.
None of us want that.
But it just sucks, man. Like, it sucks when you see the potential in something and they fuck it up, dude. Mm-hmm. I said it from the beginning when I tried that for the first time, the beta version, almost 2 years ago. Actually 2 years ago. I was like, my God, this thing is this has potential to be big. I can see it. I was playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey through a Chrome browser on my Mac, and I connected my controller, my Xbox controller, to the laptop. Just playing there for hours. I'm like, no lag. And my connection at that time, where I was living, wasn't that great, and I had a great experience. So I saw the potential there because I remember, what was the first service that started doing that? Was that on Live? Back in early days?
Live. Yeah, it was on Live. Yeah.
That technology had potential, but they also messed up too at that time. And I think that was one of the main reasons you brought that up, Parris, because you were I was part on Live, right?
I did. Yeah, I did on Live. Mm-hmm.
And what happened? You tried out. You purchase any games there through? Or no?
No, because I jumped in on a beta and they provided certain games because. What was it? Arkham City. I think that was like the big game at the time. Mm-hmm. I was playing on the service and it worked. I mean, lag here or there, but again, they didn't have a sustainable business model. And you would think Stadia Google would have learned from that misstep early on to not do the same thing, but instead they basically did the same thing.
It's sad? Sega Channel back in the 90s had a better business model than Google Stadia in 2020 and 2021. That is sad. When a 16-bit Sega Genesis games, you could subscribe, unlimited games, and also exclusive games that will launch first on Sega Channel before it go to the console, to the hardware. They had a better business model back in the days than Google Stadia. Because in Google Stadia, you have to purchase the game. There's no subscription service there, which is, I think, is super dumb, man. It's dumb. This
is Gamer Tag Radio. Voicemail at 786-2737-GTR.
Here's the thing about the gaming industry, Parris. Like, us have been doing this for a while now. When we see these mistakes, this helped the industry get better. They will do different things that will help the industry to do better when it comes to like business models like this, right? I think seeing Luna and Game Pass, xCloud, and GeForce Now is going to get better throughout the years, man. PlayStation Now is even changing their model based on what's working for the company and what's not working, But if you start doing things like this just because you're cocky and you're like, oh, it's Google, it's number one, and we're going to release it like this, and that's it, that's not going to work. PlayStation made those mistakes in the past. Xbox made those mistakes. Even during the last generation, they made mistakes because companies become too cocky, man. That doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? So learn from their mistakes, change it up. And look, I hope, Parris, we have friends that work over there at Google Stadia.
Yep.
I hope that it doesn't affect them next year. I hope that the team from the inside be vocal of the things that are not working to the execs, to the leadership, and make those changes and show the feedback from like the community, like what we're saying. Hey, look, or even this, Parris, get the average gamers, do a little meeting, get together, talk, like, hey, please help us with this service. Tell us what works, what doesn't work, how we can make this better. Companies been doing that for years now in the gaming industry. And sometimes they listen, sometimes they don't, but at least they tried. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to see more of that, I think, So
But see, that's what does upset me about this is we know people there and we know people that used to be there. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you right now, the people that are there probably won't be there a year from now. And that's the whole BS part about all this, just because of the incompetence of their senior leadership over there is going to cost people their jobs that don't deserve it. And they're going to have to scramble and find another place of employment. Oh, by the way, during a global pandemic. So it's unfortunate. And like you said, hopefully other companies looking at this will take some lessons learned from it. Sometimes I wonder if they actually do, because we just saw Xbox have a misstep. Luckily for them, they were smart enough to pivot on it right away. But stuff keeps happening, and it's almost like you say, "Oh, we're listening." That's the common phrase we always hear from the we're listening. Are you though? People have been telling you this for over a year that this wasn't going to work, and you didn't listen. So it's what it is, man. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
It sucks, and we'll see what happens in the future with Google Stadia. But this news really it bums me out, because I see the potential, but it's like you have the technology and it's just going downhill.
Yep.
It's like, come on. I don't know.
Yep. I agree.
All right. Anything else, Parris? Because this was like one of those like random emergency podcasts for us, man. And thank you everyone that are watching this on Twitch, because it's like super random. You know what I'm saying? But I like talking about this because, look, we're not saying that we're experts, but yeah, we told you so. You know, I like talking about that. I really like talking about this. Like, you know, there's things that people probably don't know from the inside. Certain things that, hey, maybe there's a reason why they released it like this, but I don't know, man. I don't know what else to say about that.
My thing is, I never approach this as I'm some expert. What do I know? I'm a freaking idiot. But I do look at this as a consumer. Whenever I talk about this stuff, I look at it as, if I have to spend my money on this, will I do it? Nope. There's no way I would. As a consumer, I look at this and I go, this don't make sense to me. Why would I do this? Mm-hmm. So that's how I always look at this. It's not, I got this inside information, or, I think I know better than the next person. I literally am talking to you from my own point of view on how I would invest in the ecosystem like that. And I simply wouldn't do it because it didn't make financial sense to me and my gaming life. Why would I do that when I have all these other options that, quite honestly, are superior to the option that you're trying to give me with Stadia? And that has been my point from day one. I will not invest my own money in this service. Look, gave it a shot. They wanted us to try it. We tried it. We streamed it. I did all that. Tech is great. Service sucks. It's that simple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna wrap it up here. Unless you have anything else to talk about, but some good news. Let's go with some good news.
Well, I want to wrap it up because I gotta take off.
I just want to say I'm very excited about MLB The Show coming out for multiple platforms and is crossplay. Just want to say that very quick. I'm very excited about that. I'm a huge baseball fan, so.
Yeah, I was just simply saying that really quick. This is just great. Again, as gamers, in my opinion, MLB The Show has been the best sports sim for a decade running. I used to be really big into it on PlayStation. I fully admit I've just fallen off sports games completely the past few years. But MLB The Show has always been top tier on PlayStation. So the fact that people on Xbox that have maybe never had a chance to experience it and now get that chance, plus they're going to have crossplay for online, that's a good thing. And look, crossplay wasn't the greatest, or online wasn't the greatest when I played, so I don't know if it's improved or not. But the fact that option is even there is a good thing. So so kudos, to is it Sony San Diego?
Yeah,
right? I think that's the studio.
That's
Sony
close
San
to
Diego.
That's close to you.
Well, okay. So the inside joke on that, so people know, I actually used to work directly across the street from their old studio. It was literally right across the street from me. I would see them coming in and out all the time. But they moved, and now we have the pandemic, so I have no idea where the hell they are.
Well, I want to say this. I want to say this very quick. I know you have to leave, Parris, because I would love to have a 1-versus-1 match with you. MLB The Show. You can get a PlayStation. I got an Xbox, and we'll go. We'll do it.
Well, I'm gonna say again, unless it's improved, I'm not gonna sit here and say that the online experience is the best. Basically, it's a strikeout fest because of the lag. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be really cool. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching the stream. And this is a super last minute thing. I'm going to post this later this week on a podcast, and also have a special guest who later more on that later. But thank you for watching. And Parris, until next time, man. Take care.
Peace.
This
is Gamertag Radio. Voicemail at 786-2737-GTR.
All right, so thank you for listening. We're going to wrap it up here, and make sure to head over to gamertagradio.com. Listen to our past episodes. You could also find us on any podcast app. Also, if you find us, of course, please support us by subscribing, following us, also posting a review. And for those who are listening worldwide, we need questions. I would like to do a full episode of just strictly questions from our listeners, and we want your questions. And here's how you can contact us.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
All right, thank you for listening to episode 1101 here at Gamertag Radio. This is Danny. Until next time, we're out.
Thanks for listening to Gamertag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.